What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. What we're going to be going through today is a tutorial on a very cool tool that I've been recently using called Surfer SEO. So if you don't know what Surfer SEO is, it's an on-page SEO tool. So it actually tells you how to do your keyword density. It gives you something called true density, which represents TF-IDF, which is term frequency inverse document frequency. And all this is basically giving you the amount of times that you should use a given keyword within a particular word count, given the amount of times it's commonly used in Google's index. Gives you many different metrics. It also gives you keyword placement, which can be sometimes more important and hold more value and weight than actual keyword density. So the actual location of where you're placing those keywords, whether it be in your H2 titles or within text. And one of the cool things that they've recently implemented to Surfer's tool is a metric that measures all of the various on-page SEO ranking factors on a given page and then gives you an overall score out of 100. So we'll check that out as well. It will also measure your page speed loading time as well in comparison to your competitors, because all of these things of course make a difference to the way that you're ranked. Okay, so if we just take a look at the home page, we can see that you can start a trial for just $1, and that gives you a 7-day trial. And then you can see here your subscription will not automatically renew, which is very beneficial to know. This product is endorsed by Gail from Authority Hackers. You've got Matt Diggity behind this, where I've actually purchased his course and he recommends this. Matthew Woodward is behind it, and then Steve Toth as well. As we come down, you can see some of the things that it can make easier for you. So in a few minutes, you can get all this data-driven information. You can submit content to copywriters, data points from top 50 pages, analyzing 500 plus ranking factors, which is very good. And then manually, you can analyze just a few ranking factors, data points from a handful of pages. And then we've got find quick wins and bump up your rankings immediately. So if you've got existing content that you'd like to increase rankings on, it's also very good for that. You can be sure that you'll be technically sound when it comes to on-page SEO and Google's algorithm with using Surfer SEO. So to be honest, I think it is the best tool at the moment around this price range that gives you these functionalities. So the first thing, when we take a look at the pricing, we can see that there's different monthly pricings for different plans. Okay, so they have the hobby, basic, pro, business, business plus, and enterprise. So if we take a look at this, we can see number of NLP analysis per month. Basically what NLP is natural language processing, and this is a way that Google's algorithm or search engines determine the human language, so they can actually understand search intent and different things like that. So you've got the SERP Analyzer, which is search engine results pages analyzer. Number of queries per day, as you can see there's various amounts there, 5, 15, 50, so on and so forth with the different plans. So you would have to be at least on the pro plan for $99 per month to get access to this, which is it's a very good function to have. So number of factors analyzed. So if you're on the basic plan, 250 plus, and then anything above that, you've got 500 plus. Domain score and content score. So you get content score only, not the domain score on the basic plan. And then all of the rest of them, obviously you get the full functionality. True density, I'm really happy about that. You get that on the basic plan, because this is like the main thing that you want from Surfer SEO, is to have true density. And then we've got content editor. So what the content editor is for if you're creating a brand new piece of content and you want it SEO optimized. All of the rest of it is for analyzing content that you already have pre-existing. Shareable link for external writers, so you get that on all plans. Domain score and content score only on this, again, which is the same function as here. Backlinks and visibility reports. So the way this works, I'll explain this more in just a moment when we get over to it, is it actually analyzes common backlinks that are used across varying websites in the top 10 results. So if you get like, the third, fourth and fifth website all getting a link from the same source, it will actually put that in as a common link. So I believe it has to be 2 or more websites getting the same link for it to pop up in there. So if those websites are using the same exact link from the same referring domain, then it's highly likely that that will also benefit your website or web page specifically from gaining a link under that particular keyword. Then we've got support and white labeling. So you've got live live chat support on all of the plans, which is very good. Personal walkthrough on demand, you only get that on the higher plans than hobby. And then report white labeling only starts from business plans, so on and so forth. And then if we come up to the top, you can see that it gives you like a brief understanding here, just a brief report. Monthly gives us those prices from earlier, and then annual, you can see here that it has $49 for that. So that would work out like about just over $500 for the year. This one probably about $900, and then so on and so forth. So one of the things that just really stand out to me about Surfer SEO, that might even stand out to you from just watching this video, is that it's super simple to use. They've made it almost like Google. Like, it's just very streamlined, very easy, and there's nothing overwhelming on the page. It's a very clean user interface. What we've got here is any previous keywords that you've targeted within the last 30 days. And they've recently added a functionality where you can tag keywords. So this allows you to group a certain amount of keywords within a given tag. This could be for external purposes, like, you know, if you're working as part of a team, or just if you wanted to locate a particular set of keywords that you've previously optimized. You can select the country that you're working within. So for example, you want to make sure that this is just purely based on the country where your traffic is predominantly coming from. Mine is the United States, so that's more time where I leave it. You always want to optimize for mobile first. You can do desktop and mobile, but Google has stated that they're optimizing for mobile first, so why wouldn't you? Okay, this is where you enter your keyword, and then you've got the option to switch on your NLP sentiment, where it will take NLP keywords into consideration when providing you with the set of keywords to target. This is screenshots, where it just essentially shows you screenshots of the SERP positions in the top result. And then we've got SERP Analyzer daily limit. I've got 15 searches per day on that, and then 10 NLP limits, which resets every single month. This one resets at midnight, and then you have the option to upgrade your plan. So you can see you can create tags here, and that would be where you would be able to locate them. Okay, so this is the content editor, and this has the same functionality. The only difference for this is that this will be for a brand new piece of content. You do get a few more searches, I believe, on this, and then NLP I think is the same as what we just saw. Again, any of the previous keywords that you've targeted, this is the last 30 days, and then this is the last 7 days right there. Okay, you have the option to switch on NLP for that as well. And then you can also use the keyword research tools. You just enter your keyword and use it just the same as you would with any other tool. So you want to make sure that you're in the right country, and then you would obviously analyze that. So very simple, nothing too much going on. Now, one of the main things that really stand out to me before we get into all of the functionalities of the tools is the fact that it has this blog section. So they're always updating this with regular content, and they also have a YouTube channel, Surfer does as well. And the content that they deliver on their blog is just mind-blowing. Any kind of releases that they have on new tools or functionalities, they always release in the blog. So it gives you a full breakdown of exactly how to use it to its optimal performance. So it's really good. I would highly recommend that you come and take a look at their blog anytime you'd like to gain any ways of really getting a competitive edge with using their tool. All right, so when we come back to SERP Analyzer, so let's target this random keyword, which is best stroller for babies. Create query. So once that's loaded up, all you need to do is click the result that you're trying to get all of the information for, and then we can see that it takes us to this interface. Okay, so just to explain how all of this works, first of all, these are the SERP results. So these are all the top ranking pages. If you were to go to Google and drum in this keyword, these are the pages that you would see ranking. Now we've got this content score. Okay, so this is what I was saying, that it takes into account all of the different on-page ranking factors, and then gives you a score out of 100 of how these websites are performing. So when you're creating a new piece of content, your goal is to take all of these to analyze with, I would say, usually a score over 70. They recommend anything 60 or above. I've found that 70 or above works best, and if you can find 80 or above, even better. You want to optimize around those. But if you see a lot of them that have a very high domain authority, so this is how they're measuring domain authority based on the backlink profile. So they give them a domain score out of 10. This one's out of 100, this one's out of 10. And then you can explore text of important elements. So anything that's highlighted as important, you can evaluate. Item list, I've actually never looked at this before. So we've got item list, item object, article, web page, so on and so forth. And then you can show this on a chart, and we've got the screenshots there as well. Now, if we look on the next tab, we can see keywords. So these are different keywords that are commonly used amongst those top 10 ranking pages. Okay, so you can see then we've got overlapping pages. So how many of those pages out of the top 10 are using it? So this is 5 5, 6 of them here. So this one, if you find something very high, like say for example in, all 10 of them or 8 of them are using it, it's probably a secondary keyword you could target. And then we can see that it gives you the search volume and how relevant those keywords are. So you can see relevance here is 100%. So this is like quality baby strollers. So you could probably use that and rank for it as well. So it's saying these keywords are not just being ranked, separately, they're being ranked on the same existing article. And then if we move on to questions, these are any questions associated around this keyword as well. So it gives you a bunch of those, which you could potentially use in your FAQs or as subheadings for H2s. We've got popular words that it can populate, and then it gives you the densities, the count, all of those different things. So you can see it's highlighted all of the words that we've incorporated inside of the phrase that we entered, and also the densities of how many times on a per keyword basis that it's being used. And you can see here, this is for the top 5 page results. So this is position 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've got popular phrases here. So these are popular phrases that are being used amongst those top 5 pages. And again, you're getting the count of how many times it's being used, and then the density, which is in comparison to the total word count of the document. We've got common words here, which is 10 out of 10 pages. You can see common words are best and strollers. 9 out of 10 of them are using strollers and baby. 8 out of 10, so on and so forth. You get the gist. If we go into common phrases, you can see here it's the same thing, but this time for a phrase opposed to just on a per keyword basis. 4 out of 10 pages are using strollers, best stroller, so on and so forth. And then prominent words and phrases, as we go through, you can see this is on a per word basis. And you've got page frequency, how many times this is showing up out of the top 10 pages. And then we've got the same exact information, but again for a given phrase opposed to a per keyword. And then we've got the common backlinks function. So these are showing the common referring domains that are coming up, not in the top 10 now, but top 20, as we can see here. How many of them have it? 18 out of the top 20 are using this one referring domain. So probably you need a link from them too. Referring domains, you can see 2,628 total traffic, so on and so forth. So it's giving you some of the information about this domain here. Now, if we check on the left hand side, you can see search visibility. And sorry, just to touch back on this, you can actually break this into averages to give you like total word count or whatever else, and then you can click that and it gives you specifics, so 3,000 words, and this is just for the body, by the way. So anything within the body tags on the pages, and then 6,000, so on and so forth. But averages just gives you the gist of like, okay, what kind of word count do I need for the top 10? You can see they're using about 2,700 words, so anything within 2,500 to 3,000 words is probably a good place to be in. Then you've got outside links. You can exclude pages. So if we go back to search results, you can exclude all pages and then just pick the ones that are most relevant to you of where you perform an audit. So say for example, this was our website. We could put it in manually here, or we could select the ones we want to compare it to and then click audit over here. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So based on this information up the top, you can do this based on word count, which it's currently set on, or you could do it based on estimated traffic. So you can see here now it's giving us traffic results as well, and we'd need to switch off words to see that clearly. So you can see estimated traffic now showing up, and again it will give us like the information. It starts to give us all of the metrics for those given domains. If you don't understand exactly what it does, you just have to, they got like help for every section of the tool. Then you've got referring domains, so you could set it by that. So let's switch this off. A number of referring domains, so you could see how many number of referring domains they have, and then the average is there. Referring URLs, so how many particular links do they have in total. Then in body, you could sort. So this is just filters. You could do like missing common words and phrases, so you could sort by that and then start to see like the missing words that they have. Exact keyword density, so how many times they're using the exact keyword within the body. Okay, everything is in the body here. Partial keywords, so this is when any one word from a given target phrase is being used across a particular article within the content. That's classed as a partial keyword. Title, which is the same thing for titles, queries, meta description, paragraphs. We could be here all day going through that. We've also got page speed, so if you wanted to measure time to first byte or something like that, you could see like the fastest loading pages, like this one in particular, number 6, is very slow loading. Then structured data, you could do it by that. You've got product organization, so this is all schema and stuff like that. As we go down, we've got a score, which is overall content score. So this wasn't here before, this is new, as you can see, and that's purely because the actual functionality of content score was only brung out as of recording this video about 2 weeks ago. And then we've got media, so how many times like they're using images and things like that. So I'm not sure number of elements they're using, so how many pictures or videos they have on the content.
When you see these green bars on the right hand side of each of the metrics, this is an indication of how much this correlates with Google's ranking factors. So you can essentially understand how much of an impact each metric will have on your rankings.
So once we've done this, we might say, look, exclude all pages, and then we select this, because we're saying let's select the ones with a high content score or something like that. Okay, so if we were to take these and then we said this is our website, this Pop Sugar or whatever it is, we're going to click audit. So what it's going to do is it's going to create an audit for this particular page based on the competing websites that we selected. So you can see 1 out of 23 common backlinks are missing. So this website has 22 backlinks that the other competitors have commonly. Okay, and then this one might be the one that might bump them up in the ranks. So you can see that they're missing one. But what the most important part of this tool is something called true density. And this is where I was explaining TF-IDF earlier. What this does is you want to optimize by phrase first, and it gives you examples of the keyword and where it's being used, so you can actually see like an actual sentence of how it's being used within an article. And then it will give you a clear indication of whether you should add it in or remove it. So if it's telling you to remove something, that means you're over optimized, and that is absolutely paramount to do throughout anything within this whole result. So even if it's 40% relevancy, you still want to remove keywords. You never want to be over optimized. In regards to being under optimized, when it's telling you to add keywords, I usually optimize as down to a 70% and sometimes 60 depending on how many given words I have errors with. And then you can do this on a per word basis. You only want to do this after you've done the phrases. You don't want to do words first and then phrases. You want to do phrases and then words. You can export this if you wanted that information downloaded. And then as we go down here, you can see in comparison to the competitors, it gives you the total word count within the body, and then word count in paragraphs, word count that you have in bold, okay, and then ones in H2 and H6 titles. So if it says show details, it actually gives you a graph so you can really form an image of exactly what you need to be doing and where your word count needs to be. You can see this one website is pushing up the average. I probably would come a bit higher, but not as high as this, maybe to about 3,000 words there. Exact keywords, how many times that's being used within the body, and then compared pages, exact keywords. You bring up the graph there again. So it's telling you add one keyword in H1. So you don't have, this website doesn't have exact keyword within the H1 title, whereas the other sites do. So it's telling you to add it, one exact keyword in title. So when you add it into the H1, that will be a title as well. That will solve that problem. Partial keywords, it's very good on that. It's already telling us that we've got a 6.27 partial keyword density. You can see that here, that we're falling right, just touching, scraping into the averages there. What this is based on correlation marketing. So you're taking what already works in the top 10 because Google has already proven that that's what it wants to see, and then you're optimizing but improving your levels of content optimization, on-page SEO factors to outdo your competitors by a slight edge in that sense. You've got replace partial keywords with exact in title. So once you fix that problem up the top, it will start to obviously do that. You might get in some of those partials just by having the exact match as well. You've got add 26 to 46 paragraph elements. So this website is not using enough paragraphs, and the way paragraphs are broken up is by using more titles that then breaks up paragraphs into different sections. No action required, one H1 element, so that's all you need to have on the page, and then one image element. You can see that the range is 0 to 15 because this site's pushing it up way high, so I'd keep it to about 1 or 2 because you can see the others are about that range. Consider removing 3 to 8 characters from the title. So the title's too long, it's saying 73 characters, 55 to 70 is recommended. Some people only use 65, everyone's different on that. 148 characters in meta description, which is also analyzing your actual results in the SERPs. No action required because the website's loading fast, time to first byte, 2,100 milliseconds to load the page in total. So that is that all in a nutshell, and then you can copy the shareable link if you wanted to send this to someone to optimize also, or another member of your team. Once you make the changes, you can click refresh and then it will update that information live. Okay, Okay, so the next part of this tool is the content editor, and that's almost identical on the forefront. So you can see here, you can select mobile, NLP. I'm not going to use that for this video because they are very sacred to me, and I use it on the most difficult keywords. So any top of silo content or your hardest keywords is where you want to use the NLP stuff, because you don't get a lot of credits for that. Then we can do like our keywords. So if we select best stroller for baby, same thing. Again, you can tag it, you can do different things. You can see this is a little bit different. So when you're doing it on the other one, you're looking for domains that are ranking with a low authority. Okay, when you're doing this, you're mainly looking at the content score. I guess like they've kind of solved the problem for you, because I usually am looking for something that just has a high over 80 score, and now you can load up 10 more pages, so you don't just have to look at the top 10 results, you can look at the top 20. Okay, so once you got this fired up, you can see how it works. So you got like all the different websites, and you want to just essentially find something that has good scores. Sometimes you want to take into account also the level of authority that the site has, because they could be potentially ranking just based on their authority. However, this content score is reading the on-page SEO factors. I believe over 100 different factors that they're taking into account. It said 500 at the beginning of this tutorial when we was looking. So you want to pick the ones with the highest score. So they're trying to basically just give you the answers here, so you don't have to do any hard work. So Healthline, you can see is at the top, which is a big massive authority website. But if we look behind that, we can see that this next one is 74 up here, like a 79, a 75 here. So these are all the highest content scores, and it's also going to give you an average word count based on that. So you just want to click save changes once you've done that, and then as we come down, you can see that the average word count based on those sites we selected is 3,198 words. So roughly I'm going to add about 10% to that and just go a bit higher. Okay, so we're looking about 3,500 words there on average. And then characters, so you can break that down into how many characters it is opposed to total words. And then we've got how many paragraphs should you have, headings, bold words, and images. Now when you come down to here, you can see click on the term to exclude it. So if you want to exclude any keywords, you can just click it and it disappears. Also, you can add terms. So this is the same as when we was on the SERP Analyzer. It gives you these similar words. It gives you a score based on how similar it is. So we could see if it's like an 80% or above, you can see that one's like 100%. Best stroller baby, it's almost identical to the main keyword, but this doesn't make perfect sense in English. So you might be using these as alt text or something like that. Prominent terms, so these are terms that are used across the other top 10 websites. Topics and questions to answer. All this is basically the also asked for section on a given keyword on Google. So if we was to go drum this keyword into Google, you'd see this come up in also asked for. And then these are other related terms. So you can see other terms can be used as inspiration for writing this article. So this is also used within your competitor articles. And then you can create like a brief here for your writers. Okay, so after you've done that, you do finalize customization, and then you're brought to this. So when you're creating a new piece of content, what I like most about this is you can create like a content brief. Okay, so you can create a brief out of this, and with Surfer's Google extension tool, you can actually use this in Google Docs. So you can create this in Google Docs and then share it with a writer, and they can log in, and it will show you how many people are logged in, and they can edit a document based on your brief. So you can give them all the notes here, and then they can write the content, and it updates in real time. So if we put like stroller babies into our article, as you can see, it will go green. And all the goal is, and you can see examples usually of how the keyword's incorporated in other articles. So you can see, look, example of how it's used and so on. So if you don't know, if they don't know how to use it, they can see that there. But if we type like infant car, you can see that's also going to pop up one time. So it's saying we need to use it about 6 times. So what your goal is this is in order of most important to least important. You want to turn all of them green. That's your goal. Like, it's that simple. And then if we come down here, we've got those related questions and then those other relevant keywords as well. So if we put any of those in, like toddler seat, you can see that will cross itself out. And it's really as simple as that. You've got access to the live chat there if you have any problems. And then you can sort out your billing here, like to check out your plan you're on and all of that different information. And then any invoices that you have, you're also going to see there, and you're able to download them for future reference. You can also have an option to put in hyperlinks within the content editor. So if you have any links to any kind of external sources, you can do this. And what's so good about this is the moment you copy it straight into WordPress, it keeps everything formatted and exactly the same. So I use this for absolutely everything and use WordPress for nothing. I only copy it into WordPress after everything's done here, and then it's done. So the writers can access this, or you can do this on a Google Doc and they can do it there, and then you can copy it in. I like to do it on here because it keeps all the H2s. You can do like the exact same like headings and stuff as you would in WordPress, and it has all the same functionalities. You can add images into this, alt text, absolutely everything, and you can export it as a HTML file that you could upload to WordPress as well. So if you have any questions or anything about this tool, you can go back to the customize tab, but leave your questions below. If you did enjoy the tutorial, then make sure to smash the thumbs up, because this will spread it out across the internet. I want this to be the #1 ranking video on YouTube for this tool. I love using it. It's a very good tool. I mean, I would highly recommend you check it out. For just $1, you can have this tool for a total of 7 days and see what differences it makes to your on-page SEO. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.